Welcome on ladies and gentlemen. We're actually live streaming on YouTube. We're live streaming on Facebook. We're live streaming everywhere. This is actually our third call for the day. We did an exciting announcement at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. If you're on that from Europe, you would have seen, you're probably pumped. Then we had a second announcement where we had a brand new double crown. And that was a second brand new double crown. So Neumi'S is on fire around the world. In the chat, I can see people have logged on from the Caribbean, New Zealand, Las Vegas, Canada, Georgia, Southeast, Houston, you name it. I could read them, but they're typing in too fast. So welcome online, everybody. What I'm going to do, I'm just your MC for today, Michael Firth. I'm going to hand over to our Vice President of Sales and co-founder, Ryan Scott. Over to you, buddy, for the exciting news.
Thank you, everybody. And yeah, it's been a crazy day. I have a hoarse voice from so many announcements and presentations and everything. And it's just been an exciting day and an exciting time to be at Neumi's. I was talking to Aaron, and by the end of this call, you'll know what we're talking about. But the momentum feels palpable. It's just bubbling, right? We're so excited for 2026 because we have so many weapons that we're going to unleash and so many cool things that we're going to kick off the new year with. I can't wait for 2026. It's going to be our biggest year yet. We're going to break every record. So with that being said, we're going to dive into the announcements. But before we do, look in the chat. You'll see a link to the translations. And if you want to scan, pull out your phone. Sorry, I need to share this presentation so it looks a little better. There we go. If you pull out your phone, you can scan this QR code or click the link in the chat, and you will hear you'll be able to read the translations very accurately, and you'll also have an audio translation in your appropriate language. So go ahead, pull your phone out if you need to. Otherwise, we will get started. So to kick off this message, we're going to hear from our founder and my father, Steve Scott. We have an exciting announcement about our technology. We have a great culture. We have great product. We have a lot of things going for us, and we have so much anecdotal evidence about what we're doing, right? We hear the stories, we see the before and afters, but today we're going to get a little bit more ammunition with our product. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Steve to give us an amazing announcement.
Thank you, Ryan, and welcome everybody. And I trust somebody's admitting all these people that want to be admitted, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, thank you, Phoebe. Isn't that amazing? Phoebe's in Australia. Peter is in Hungary. I mean, we are all over the world, and we're all communicating at the same time. Jackie Gimmel's down there, and we got a lot of people down under. It's exciting because it's proof. I've had the joy of presenting and interacting with doctors all over the world. I remember Aaron and I were in the Philippines, and we had a special dinner for 46 doctors. And man, they got all excited as we showed them all this, and we just showed them this stuff that the only way it could be accomplished is if we're getting in the cell. And don't you know it, in every audience, there's one guy that'll always come up. Do you have scientific proof you're in the cell? Well, let's see. You see this was Dr. Nicolopoulos's report, and he shared it one time, but it shows what we do with genetic expressions. That's nothing short of miraculous. And according to Dr. Nicolopoulos, one of the top genetic scientists in the world, cellular, I mean, the guy's the top of the heap. And he says, hey, the only way you could do that, nothing else does it. And man, he's tried so many things. This is his life. And nothing else does what we do. And the only way we can do it is if we are truly indeed. Nope, I want to see the science. Show me proof. And we've heard that every now and then. Well, today we have proof. It took a little investment on our part, but you know what? We finally decided we're done. We're done with all the naysayers. We're going to get our proof, and we're going to start letting the world know that we have proof. We contracted with a company called Eurofins. So EUROFINS.com. You can check them out, go to their website. Let me tell you about this company, because what happens if Ryan is the one that gave me the proof? Hey, Dad, I whipped this up in the kitchen and I've got proof now. No, Ryan, that won't go over well. But Eurofins is the largest testing company of its kind in the world. It's in 63 countries, not the 75 we're in, but 63 is pretty good. They have 60,000 employees. They beat us there, but not if you count our distributors. And but they perform, are you ready for this? 450 million tests per year. And they test everything you can imagine about biology and the human being and animal testing, and they do all this kinds of testing. And so they were referred to us, and they are the best. They're number one. And the thought being, hey, if we get the very top testing firm and they give us results that we like, the whole world will end up hearing about it. They give us results we don't like, where's the nearest trash can, right? Because we know we're in the cell, but they gave us results we like, and that's what we're here to report to you. But you'll want to write down their website, Eurofins.com. And you'll be able to check it out. I mean, that website you can ask 100 questions of. I mean, it's just amazing, all the subcategories. Okay, so before we tell you the results, let me, oh, by the way, it's only right that I congratulate. This week has been a big week. Not only have we broken records in sales, but we have two brand new, our first and second, first male, first female, double crown diamonds. So how does that work? Well, you got senior member, and then you've got I can't remember the first category.
1 star.
1 star, 2 star, 3 star, diamond, double diamond, triple diamond, crown diamond. Well, now we have 2 double crown diamonds. And guess what? They're not stopping. They're going to keep going. What does that mean to us in the field, for those of you? It means that Neumi'S is becoming more and more recognized. It's getting easier to recruit. Our story keeps getting better. Our products continue to roll out, all of them with tremendous efficacy and efficiency. Today, remember the word efficacy and efficiency. Those are 2 good words to write down, because nobody else does what we do. That's what we're going to get to. But congratulations to Alex Monterosa. We had a little time with him on, I think it was Tuesday. This week's going fast. Today, we announced Karen Justice became our second double crown. What does that mean for you? It means you are growing. You're going to have more support. It means it's getting easier for your people underneath you and beside you. You say, well, you know, how about Karen's upline? Well, guess what? He's not a double crown, but that's okay. Ask him if he minds having a double crown underneath him. I would like to have a double crown underneath me. Anyway, so that is big. Okay, now let's talk about the test. What the challenge is, there's 4 phases we've got to look at. Number 1, and this isn't covered in the test, this is just general biology, easy to check out. Number 1, you've got to go from the mouth on an oral product, which is capsules, pills. If you're got a spray or drops, you can go from the nose, but you got to get from here down to the gut, but you're really going to try to get to the cell. Okay. So the first thing we have to look at is mouth to cell. How long is that? That's not in the report, but you can look this up. Just any biology book will tell you. To the cell, normal, conventional is averages, even for the most expensive products that are wrapped in fats, average 2 hours. So from the time you intake it till the time it gets in contact with the cell, not in the cell, but in contact with the cell, 2 hours. Now, next problem is, how do we go from the outside of the cell to the inside of the cell. That's where the action is. That's where everybody wants to be. Okay, the cell is created to keep things out. And we're glad it wants to keep all the bad things out. So the cellular membrane is real thick like this, you know. Now, where's the weak spot? Well, the weak spot are the pores. And they're only about 10 nanometers in size. So they don't let a lot of stuff. 10 nanometers, for those of you that don't know, one strand of hair, just one strand of your hair, is 80,000 nanometers thick. And the pore in the cell is only 10 nanometers. The cell itself averages about 100 nanometers. And it's not like dropping it into an empty plate as far as your cells go. They're incredibly complex. They have trillions. Every single cell, and you got 37 trillion cells, has trillions of mechanisms working together that if one doesn't work, there's problems, right? That's how incredibly you've been designed. You are trillions and trillions and trillions of miracles right there. Just in your body, you have 37 trillion glutathione factories. Every cell has its own factory for making glutathione. So what's the problem? The problem is deficits. Glutathione levels decline as we age, average of 8 to 15% per decade. So I'm 77. That means I have less than 65% of my glutathione. I mean, 65%'s gone. I'm working on 45%. Injuries, disease states, they all create temporary or long-term or permanent deficits. If you're fighting cancer, you got so many deficits, I can't even tell you, of glutathione. It's the most abundantly molecule. It's the most abundant molecule in your body other than the water molecule. That's how critical it is to every aspect of your life. Now, glutathione goes down. If you have a lung disorder, the lining of your lungs, which are normally glutathione rich, they start to have deficits. They can't get enough. How about liver disease? How about kidney problems? How about diabetes? All those create tremendous deficits, okay? And so what the goal is of anybody trying to put glutathione in your body, whether it comes through a shot, an IV, a capsule that you put in your mouth, the goal is to get the deficits taken care of as best as possible. Get it into the cell. Now, if perchance we could, what would we want to do? We would want to target the ones where the greatest deficits are. I mean, the one, you know, picture a swimming pool that's filled to the brim. Do you need more water? No. But how about the one that has a leak and it's going down, 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 down? Yeah, if you want to swim, you got to bring it back somehow, right? Okay, getting the picture of the problem. Now, once a product gets to the cell, the main problem is getting it in the cell. So, for example, you can wrap a molecule in a fat, okay? And there's a special name for it. Those are the most expensive ones. Those are the ones Dr. Nicolopoulos was on. And they're the most expensive glutathione product out of Germany. I mean, man, what beats, you know, German ingenuity? Anyway, he was on it. He was trusting that it was doing something, but he never felt it. He never saw a difference. And so if it's wrapped in fat, the problem is the molecule size is over 50 nanometers, somewhere between 50 and 250 nanometers. How big is that hole? 10 nanometers. So things that are wrapped in fat sit on top of the cell and they rely on other energy sources like the ATP that's in your cells produce on the outside as well as the inside. They rely on that to try to force it into the wall of the cell. Some gets forced in, not real efficient. Now, some of that, once it's forced in, does get into the cytoplasm, but guess what it has? It has a wrapping. It still has that wrapping. That's junk. It's now carried that into the cell. How are you going to get rid of it? Well, thankfully, some of it's water soluble, some of it will ultimately leave the cell, but we don't want more crud in our cell. We want nice, clean. What this research has proven is that we are delivering the molecule, not the particles, the molecule. How big is a glutathione molecule? In the raw, it's about 0.8 of a nanometer. So now you add our water clusters, and guess what? We might go up to 1.2, 2.0, 5.0. Doesn't matter. We are so much smaller. That gives us not only more surface area to get into more cells, but watch what happens. This is what the report showed. The fastest it could measure from the time the glutathione product comes to the cell, the fastest they could measure was 5 minutes. So they could measure 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 and 20. We're only interested in what gets in fast. We don't care what takes forever, because forever's forever. We are in when the very first measurement, we're already there. In full force, ready to be utilized at the molecule. The molecule can be utilized to what? To boost the immune system, to fight oxidative stress, to reduce inflammation, to do all the incredible, the antioxidant, to fight off the free radicals. It's there within 5 minutes. My guess, and I'd bet money on it, is that if they can measure for 60 seconds, we're in that quick. We go right in. Okay, how did everybody else do? Well, they didn't do that good. In fact, normal glutathione that you buy from the shelf didn't get in. And Ryan, can you unmute for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay. The other glutathione, how did it do? That is designed to get into the cell. I'm going to let the dog out while you tell him this.
Yeah. We'll remove the spotlight. Sorry. So they measured us against 2 types of glutathione: standard GSH, which is just glutathione you buy off the shelf, and then GSH-EE, which is engineered to get to be the most bioavailable form of glutathione you can get. This is what you would see in IVs or any form of injection of glutathione. So they compared us to the other 2. Standard GSH, no significant uptake, no significant results. And the second one, GSH-EE, which you will see in the report, same thing. It did not get into the cell. So not only, and we're not talking about getting through the stomach, right? That's one problem. This is a totally separate problem. If you can get through the stomach with liposomes or whatever, the question then becomes, do you get into the cell? And the 2 glutathiones that they measured, standard and the EE version, neither one of them got into the cell. And ours was the one that saw significant uptake in glutathione, and that's what you're going to see in the results. So,
and we saw it in 5 minutes. And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I was on the phone call when Steve was talking to this skeptical scientist who said, "Oh, I'll believe it when I see proof," and they got in a bitter back and forth, and I had to just tell Steve, "Dad, just log off. It's okay." And so he logged off, and I finished the conversation with the scientist, and we decided, you know what, it's time to put our money where our mouth is. Let's not only prove this guy wrong, but let's give our distributors something that they can use in full force. So we decided to pay for this test and get it done. And the results, we were screaming and jumping up and down like kids in a candy shop when we got the results back. And we think you guys will do the same when you have it. And we couldn't be more excited. Dad, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes. The next thing, once you're in the cell, is utilization. The cell can't utilize the particles. It has to come down, which means anything that's wrapped in a particle has to be unwrapped. All of that creates inefficiencies, potential problems. We get in as a molecule, and we are instantly utilized. And guess what? The ones that had the deficit are where we had the greatest uptake. That's what we want. We don't care about the full swimming pools. We care about the ones that aren't full, so we can fill them up. So that's what happened. This targeting was quite amazing. And then we get into utilization. The other thing that we know we do, the fact that we're getting glutathione in, and another part of our formula, which I'm not going to mention because we're going to not tip off competition, it got in. And it's the part that allows the cell to make even more of its own glutathione. So we're dropping a usable molecule that can instantly be utilized, and we're getting the precursor in that the cell's going to use to make more and to recycle glutathione. And so that was very exciting. Now, like I say, we've had so much proof. Dr. Nicolopoulos's proofs. Many of you have seen photographs. You've seen it in your own world. You've seen people see incredible results. One of the world's, by the way, we did get approved. We have now been certified for sport. So now Olympic athletes, Major League Baseball here in the United States, and National Football League football players. We're the only glutathione product that's certified for sport, and probably ever will be. And so that certification has come this year. That allows me to talk to people that would normally not give me the time of day. We already have one major coach in the National Football League and his trainer. They've been on our product from, well, the trainer from day one, going clear back. And the coach has been on it for over a year, and he calls it his miracle product. Not my word. That's the coach of this particular football team. So we're going to see tremendous things happen. And of course, you're all part of the Neumi'S family, so you're going to see it. Is there any? Oh, right. Proof of quick entry. And we see why quick entries. I read some studies this week on fat-wrapped glutathione. And it says, can it make a difference? And the answer was yes. In fact, studies showed if you take X amount, tremendous amount every day for 2 weeks, you're going to see results. You know, why wait 2 weeks when you can see results in 5 minutes? Do we really see it? That's how we tell athletes to work out with it, compete with it, take it 5 minutes before. An example was one of Aaron's good friends who used to be a champion cyclist when he was younger. And he had a big event coming up called Point to Point that he used to win when he was in his 30s. Well, now he's 48, and it's going up and down 5 mountains, 13,000 feet of altitude gain on mountain trails, up and down, 82 miles. It's an 8-hour nonstop pedaling event. It is gruesome. I don't think Aaron even did it, but we were with this guy. He's 48 years old. He said, how should I use Swish this time? And we told him 5 minutes before the race. And because of the half-life, we said, this was a year ago, a couple years ago, we said, because of the half-life, do it every hour for the 8 hours of the race, and then immediately after to accelerate recovery. Well, guess what? His normal energy drop in the first hour. This is why time is so important. First hour would normally go like that, and then the next 7 hours, it normally goes like that. He said, that didn't happen. Here's what happened. Boom, 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 8 times, boom, boom. He gets to the finish line thinking, I've gone at a casual pace. He says, I don't even try to win anymore. There's only one other person there. At 48 years old, he took second in that grueling race. He gets home, and normally after this race, he falls on the bed, goes to sleep, and wakes up Sunday morning. He comes home. He feels so good, has so much energy that he does the cleaning, He cleans his equipment. He does the family wash, and they had a lot of kids. And his wife comes in. She says, "I thought you had that race today." And he said, "I did." She says, "Well, what are you doing up?" He says, "I just feel that good." So timing is important. The fact that we do get into the cell, sorry, skeptics. B, we get in quickly. And guess what? We get utilized. The switch goes on the second it's in the cell. That is the breakthrough. These are the claims we can now make. We're going to, for Steve Scott's sake, we're going to dumb down. We're going to do a white paper where we put things in. It's 60 some pages, and it's numbers, and it's numbers, and it's numbers. So we're going to go ahead and make it more concise, more readable. You'll be able to handle it, hand it to scientists, hand it to doctors. In fact, I've already had one request today. That will be done next week, probably toward the end of next week. You'll be able to download it from your back office. We'll try to get it into all the languages as fast as we can. And Ryan, that's it for me.
Thank you. This is it's so funny. You know, we've seen all the results, and we've seen exactly what's happening, and we know what's happening. But when you did this test, you just never know. You never know what's going to come out the other end, and it's like you studied for the test, you know all the right answers, but you still hope that you passed, right? And we thought, okay, well, if it comes back and we can't see any results, does that just mean that this test wasn't the right test? Does it mean that, you know, we need to try another test? And we were kind of just sitting there thinking, what happened if? And luckily we never had to worry, and it was just an incredible thing, and it's just boosted my faith in this product. And what's so cool was to see the depleted cells, right? So I was talking to one of our Coleman, he's, you know, head of technology, and he's a little younger. He's 28, right? And he says, you know, I don't feel swished that often when I'm taking it. And he probably has healthy cells and healthy levels of glutathione. And the cells that had all the glutathione they needed, there wasn't an interaction, an increase of glutathione in those cells. The depleted cells sucked it up immediately and utilized it immediately, which happens with age. It happens with environmental toxins. It happens with disease. It happens with all these things that we're seeing. And so it's just so cool to see that our product goes where it's needed. It's the ultimate delivery system, right? So cool.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, of course.
About what you said about Coleman. Remember the iceberg, folks. It's not what you feel. Coleman is getting his immune system boosted. He is having the support he needs for every tissue, every organ. Fight against free radicals never stops. And as soon as, now we've seen this with we've seen amazing things happen. Glutathione levels go down, person has a problem, we hear about it, they get on our product, problem goes away, they get off our product, problem comes back. Dr. Nicolopoulos, as I mentioned, he had been on the German product, and he was approached by his next door neighbor, who is a professor for 40 years at the medical school, the Harvard Associated Medical School in Athens. And she comes up with our blue bottle and says, "You've got to try this." And he said, "Why do I have to try it?" "It's glutathione." He says, "I've been on glutathione for years." She said, "Not like this." She gives it to him, and he says, okay, I'll try it. And he pays money for it. But he gets on it, and he decides to take it before 3 times a week. He walks 10,000 steps, about 4 or 5 miles at a brisk walk. He doesn't do it lazy. When he gets home, he just plops onto bed. He's all spent, gone. Well, he goes ahead and takes the product 5 minutes before he starts that 10,000 steps. At the end of the 10,000 steps, he says, "I wasn't spent at all. I felt like I could just keep going, but I had an appointment I had to get to." And he got the product the next day, and then he started putting clients on it and everything. Timing, speed, even when you don't, he didn't think, okay, I need it for the exercise. But when he used it, exercise creates a temporary deficit. Guess what? We fill that deficit, not in 2 weeks, like any competitive, we fill it while it's happening. That's the breakthrough. And we've seen it, and we've had so much evidence. It's broken my heart to have all this and not be able to really combat those, I shouldn't say idiots, those people that say, show me the scientific proof. Well, now we have the scientific proof, and everybody on this call is going to have it too next week. Okay, back to you, Ryan. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah. So we have a couple things we have to go over in this call, and that's the big announcement. But now comes the question of what do we do with that, right? And Sergio and I are going to go into what we have cooking up in December and January and February. So we have some exciting things happening in January and February, and December is going to be your month to organize everything. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about something called the Neumi'S Team Challenge, which has launched at around 12 p.m. If you haven't heard yet, maybe your upline has reached out to you and they want you to join your team, but we're having a friendly competition, a regional competition between groups of 3 or 4 people. I recommend getting 4 because it's a 25% advantage. So you'll register with a team and you'll use the same points that you've been doing for Achieve, the enrollments, the rank advancements, the recurring orders, same point system, but now you're together as a team and your points will go towards free prizes, and that will be happening in January and February. December is the month for you to find and recruit your team that you're going to build with. So here to talk about that and to go over in more details, we have Sergio de la Mora. Sergio.
Hey, Ryan, thank you so much. Well, it's very hard to beat what we just discovered today, and very incredible. You know, I'm very happy to be part of this Neumi'S family. I've had the privilege to work with many companies throughout my career, and I can seriously say that this is the best product by far. No other company can beat the Hydrastat technology. I talked to friends, I talked to family members. I was talking to a good friend of mine today that's a pilot for a major airline here, and I was telling them, yeah, you should be on this product. It's good for pilots. And you know, it's just great for everyone, for athletes and so forth. So I'm very happy that we have this study and this new documents that we'll have for you very soon. Well, this month, as we're moving forward, it's the last month of the team. Okay? So there's a lot going on. I've been talking to you a lot about not slowing down. We're not going to slow down. And to keep things going, just finish strong. You can get a room covered at the Hyatt in Barcelona next year, a free convention ticket for Summit, if you get 100 points. So my invitation to you is take advantage of that. You may not have heard too much about this, but all enrollments, so all of the 100 PV and above orders that you get, excluding the quarterly pack, of course, because that has 5 points on its own, but any new enrollment you have, we're going to double the points for the month of December. So you're going to get 2 points versus 1. Will give you an advantage to finish strong and get those 100 points for the last month of Achieve. As Ryan just mentioned, keep that momentum up because the team challenge will consist of the exact same point system with the difference of working in a team. So I agree with Ryan 100%. You're going to need to get a team of 4 to take advantage of this. But starting in January, we're going to have this team challenge. And I can tell you, Chris, Anton, and myself, we have done this in the past and we've had a lot of fun. Talking into the crowds earlier this year, we talked about how we need to make things a little bit more fun here at Neumi'S. And we've listened, and this is an opportunity to have a lot of fun together. So what we're going to invite you to do throughout the rest of the month, as you're working hard, is set up your teams. Here's how that's going to work. Again, this is the same metric. So this is going to be exactly the same as the system with the cube that you're very familiar with the exception of combining your points, okay? So this is going to start on January 1st. Keep the Achieve qualifications focused on this month. And then when you get your teams going on January 1st, you will have the opportunity to get this going as a team. So you'll have it combined. I'll give you an example. Let's say Michael, Fur, Ryan, and I, and Steve are on a team. All of our combined efforts for the Achieve point system will be part of this wonderful team challenge. And so that's a wonderful way. Next slide, please, Ryan. Okay, so this is where it gets good. we're going to have the teams for each region. So we have 3 different regions we're going to work with. It's going to be EMEA, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa, the Americas, and APAC, Asia Pacific. Now, the top 3 teams in each region for the first place are going to get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You may notice this famous arch that we have in Utah. It's very iconic. But we're going to bring you over to corporate around April of 2026 and let you have a fun day with us here, training, getting to know a little bit of the management more on a personal level. We'll also take you to a national park. This is called the Arches National Park, where this arch is found, and you're going to get to have fun with that. Now, you'll also get to have dinner with the founders. You'll get to see Steve, and you'll get specific special recognition for this. So that's the first place winner, and that's the team that will get it. Now, the cool thing is that each region will have a first place winner. So that means that 3 teams will be brought to Utah, okay? Second place winners, you'll get $1,000 credit for a team party. And this is part of the reasons, if you review the rules, it's a lot to maybe sink in the first time, but it's going to be very simple, I promise. All of the teams and all of the efforts that you go through this, we encourage you to keep it in the same market, obviously in the same region, but in the same market, because we want you to celebrate your success. Second team place will get a $1,000 credit, as I mentioned, and you'll get $250 credit each for a hotel night. So you guys can go to a hotel, do a fun party, spend the night there, and have a lot of fun. Third team will get $400 team dinner, and you'll also get $150 self-care credits. You can use that towards a spa treatment, a massage. You get to choose what you want with that. Fourth and fifth place, those runner-ups will get a $400 dinner covered by Neumi. And guess what? Everybody wins. For 60 points, you're going to get a Neumi branded backpack. And so you do not want to miss out on this opportunity. We should have that sample in the near future, but that's where you're going to get a very nice backpack, and 60 points is not too hard to get. Yes, you will have 2 months, which is January and February, but remember, it's a combined team effort.
And so, something that I'd like to add, Sergio, is this, as you're pushing towards the end of December, the points for December for Achieve are doubled this month. So if you enroll someone, you get 2 points instead of 1 point, right? And so everything is doubled. Now, I want to say, this is the month you want to enroll as many people as you can, because part of those Achieve points, if I go back, are subsequent orders. So you get 2 points for every subsequent order. So for everyone you enroll in December, you will get points for their orders in January and February towards your team event. So make sure you enroll people this month, because that's going to help your team in January and February as those people continue to place orders. Same thing, you want them rank advancing, right? So push. December is a great month to help you qualify for the event, for the Achieve event and our convention in Barcelona. And it also will help you and your team in January and February as those new enrollees start to place their second and third orders. So keep that in mind as you're going. Sergio, do you have anything you want to add about this, or should I go into the next?
Let's go to the next one now. You can learn more about this at help.neumi.
Did he cut out? I think his volume cut out. Let me see.
Yeah, it did.
This is very easy to figure out. Again, what makes this even better is that you're familiar.
Yeah, what Sergio's saying is you can go to help.neumi.com and read about all the rules. We're also getting marketing material out to you guys about this event. And additionally, his point being that you don't have to change anything. It's the same point system that we're used to for Achieve. So it'll be the same thing for this rewards trip. The only difference is you'll be doing it as a team. So where do you go? You go to challenge.neumi.com. I'm going to click on this and show you what it looks like. Give me 1 second. Sorry. So when you go to challenge.neumi.com, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a leaderboard that will be here once you register your team. So when I click register, here it has all the rules. You put your team region, Americas, Asian Pacific, and Europe MENA region. You put your team name. I'm going to put the Nutri-Swish Warriors, right? That's your team name. You put captain's information, the rank. This will be the highest rank person in the team. Now you can only have one. If I'm correct me if I'm mistaken, you can only have one star or above in each team, right? So if you're a diamond, you got to find senior members or members to work with. Same thing with the 1 stars, 2 stars. We want the leaders to be working with the new people and the people who are young in the company. So, and to keep it fair, so you don't just have a team full of diamonds, right? So this is where you add everything and you submit your registration. It's on challenge.neumi.com. And then every week you'll have a leaderboard where you see the teams in your region and how you compare and how you match up against them. And you'll see the average amount of all the teams' points so that you can see how am I doing? Am I above average? Am I below average? So this is a great way to track how you're going throughout the 60 days, the 60-day competition. Now
That's
we're
correct,
going to
Ryan.
Sergio.
And just one more thing. Thanks for sharing that form. Just remember, make sure you choose your teams wisely, because Ryan brought up a good point. You want to make sure that you look and take the time. We're giving you a whole month to get this team submitted, because you need to choose your team very wisely. You're going to need people that are going to work hard, because all the efforts will add up. And again, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And you'll be hearing a lot more about it, in the next few weeks as we close out December.
And you might think that it might be a disadvantage, only being able to pair up with members if you're a 1 star. But let me tell you something. The most valuable point is a rank advancement. So if you had 3 members and you rank advance them to senior members, that's 40 points right there, right? Or 30 points. So
Exactly.
it's not, yeah. So it's actually gonna help you more than anything. So let's go to the next
20
thing.
points more and you get a backpack. So that's
there you go.
how easy it is.
There you go. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is something to pour gasoline on this Neumi team challenge. And that is our goal with the Neumi New Year kickoff, right? So let me share my screen. So the New Year kickoff is our goal as a company is to host 100 events worldwide throughout January and February. And these don't have to be ginormous 100-person events, right? We want to support you guys with whatever your goal may be. This might be a meeting of 5 people in your living room. It can be 20 people. It can be 50 people. It can be 100. Our goal is to get everybody to start having meetings, because this is how you establish your culture. This is how you really build your business, how you build relationships that last forever. So we really want those in-person meetings happening, and we're going to support you through it. So this talks a little bit, there will be a form that's sent out. I actually think we already sent out a form about this, haven't we, Sergio? Because I know
yes, it's actually very similar to the other past team challenge we sent. If you go to the slide before, I believe, or the one right after, you have access to a submission form. So if you click on there in a minute, you will see how you must submit that. So to your point, Ryan, Neumi does an excellent job. I've been here for a year now, and I can't tell you how nice it is to go all over the world and just see the diamonds and the members putting on really professional, well put on events. I came back and I talked to Chris, I talked to Ryan, a few people. I said, our Neumi members, they're very experienced and they know what they're doing. If anything, I'm learning things from them as I go on to how we could improve as a corporation. And so this all started a few months ago. We started working with the diamonds. They started calendaring everything for the new year. And as Ryan said, there was a little bit of confusion. You don't have to put on a large event. Those are always going to be calendared. and they're there. But we do want to support those that are in different parts of the world that may not have access to a diamond all the time. We want to get you out of your comfort zone and get those in-person meetings again. We got very comfortable with the Zoom meetings and a lot of the virtual meetings that we did during the COVID era. But now it's time to go out again and commute and have that community, because that's the number one feedback we get, is that people want to be part of a community. And so I can tell you a little bit about how this works, and then if Ryan would do us the favor to show you the form so you see. But if you put on a small meeting, once it's approved, a small meeting is 10 to 20 people. That could be at a home, at a cafe. As Ryan mentioned, we're going to give you 2 free bottles of product to sample. Once the event concludes, we'll give that host, once the event is approved, 100 reward points. If you host a medium event, which is 20 to 75 people, we'll give you 10 bottles of product that you can raffle, that you can give away, sample. And once that's done, we'll give you 300 host reward points. And that's not it. We'll give you $100 credit for a banner. Okay, so we'll focus heavily on those. And that's our invitation. We're saying 100. I know for a fact we're going to get way beyond that, because I can already tell you, looking at the form that Ryan will click on, we're starting to get a lot of submissions now. And this form has been emailed to you, so you should have it on your email. We're going to put an article on the help.nearly.com so that you can also have easy access to it. And I want you to know that this is a manual process that the field development sales team is doing. And so we're saying that we're going to start replying to these. These events must be approved, and we will need to be in communication with you to give you those rewards as we have pictures. Every event will be very different. The nice thing about it is that we're going to follow you through all the way.
Awesome.
And Brian, you can put the form,
here's the form that you're going to go through. You can put in your name, your ID number, your rank, your email, everything. Oh, it's not going to let me go, but then it's going to ask you, you can translate by language as well if you want to have it in a different language, and you can select your event size based off of what you think you're going to do. You can partner up with something I said at the 11 o'clock one is maybe your team, that your 4 teammates that you have, either if you're so far away, maybe you guys can have your own individual meetings, and that's your goal. Hey guys, let's host all of our meetings on this day. Or if you're close in proximity, you guys can team together and have a giant meeting together. Either way, this is going to help pour fuel on the fire, and you guys can talk about the results. You have the presentations. So to wrap up this call, we just had an incredible announcement with our technology, and a green flag that we can wave to all the skeptics and say, look at our product. This is why we are better, and this is why you need to try NutraSwitch. This is why you need to try our Hydrastat technology. We have the month of December for you to choose your teams. Go to challenge.neumi.com, and to answer a question, your teammates have to be in your same region. So we have the Americas region. So you can partner with anyone in the Americas. That's Canada, US, Mexico, Latin America. You have the Europe region, and then you have the Asia Pacific region is where you can select your teammates. But all of your enrollments and auto orders and all that activity, that doesn't have to be in your region. That can be global. So just your teammates have to be part of your region. And then that goes all the volume and advancements you have can come from global activity, not just your regional activity. So with that being said, we have, let's finish the year strong, enroll as many people as you can in December, because it's double points. Get yourself to Barcelona and get your team set up with all those sequential orders after the enrollment for January and February. That will get you a lot of points. So go ahead and let's finish the year strong and have a wonderful 2026 where we'll break every record in the book and help millions of people with our breakthrough Hydrastat technology. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful night.
And Ryan, sorry to interrupt, but just one exciting announcement to finish. I know that we may have forgotten to turn off the Blue Friday promo. That's actually on till midnight here, Mountain Standard Time tonight. So you have a few hours to still get a few orders in.
Boss is out of town. We're having a sale. Just kidding. All right. Thank you.